I saw a big ant, about this big, maybe more than quarter of an inch, climbing up backward and carrying a dead ant body. Looks like his friend's body. I was watching it for a while. Kind of mixed feeling. Dead body, carrying, going backward, probably eating. That's one way they survive. And there are quite a few ants down below at the kitchen. I had the nuts in the bottle, but I didn't put the lid carefully. So with that tiny opening, I saw this one is a tiny ant, very tiny. Hundreds of them crawling, getting in there. So I have to bring the nuts out of the bottle and find a way to get rid of the ants. Oh, well, I use the microwave oven. But most of the ants are not in that pile. So it's amazing how they detect the smell. And that was perhaps in 2 hours or something. This is army of ants, small one, informing the friends coming up and getting all the sweet stuff, I believe. When we were my grandparents' age, thousands of years ago, even more, they must have a life like those ants. Maybe not to the degree, but they have to survive and they find a way to eat anything. And I pictured, for some reason, the world at the time was like for the human being. Nature everywhere. You have to kind of fight against the nature. And maybe that's in our genes to do that, to survive. Nothing wrong about nature, where it is, how it is, and because we are the product of nature to be. But still, we need to survive. That's part of our genes, and found a way. Here's an interesting story I got. This is years ago when I was reading Suzuki's book. It's famous scholar, Zen scholar, very, very famous, known to be the person who brought Zen into the West. He said something like, when we start to use hand, that's the beginning that something happened for human to progress. And I thought that the intuition is very interesting. Whatever the reason, we are standing and we had the free two hands. So I'm sure it's try and error, do this, do that, and find a way to use it. And the extension of that, he said, is our mind developed because of the freedom, degree of freedom expanding to use hand that could try all different things. And by trying all different things, it's like a Monte Carlo. Try this, try that, try this, try that. Eventually, you find a way that you can use a tool. And from that, the progression, evolution goes on. And along with it, the logic of the hand, tool, or fire, and warm, all that put into our unconscious, and then out of unconscious is the word and the logic to configure, and that's how the mind may have been developed for human much quicker, faster than other beings. So looking at the ants carrying a dead body of another ant, my imagination extended in that way. And here I am, talking to the camera, and the video goes on, and I can process it. Or I don't have to, because AI can do it. What's the context? What's the key point? What's the title? What's the hashtag? And what's the learning? For me, human. For GPT, AI. So there are 4 legs of the ideas captured out of one video, as if there are 4 stakeholders: me, human, GPT, and AI group. Each gets something, and through that, at the origin of this experience, can be interpreted if there's that occasion to look into this video. And that affects the next leg and others, just like the case of ants growing and finding the way, and the human finding the way to use hand, and finding the way for human to have AI, to use that AI. And as the AI expand, we are talking about the dystopian picture, because the brain can go on and on and on, they say, by itself. That's where the idea of the artificial super heart popped up. You have to have a root, and if you don't connect to the root, it's not natural. If it's not natural and not fit to all beings be happy kind of an idea, but egocentric of human species, or within human species, certain group and certain AI, to push the limit. And that may happen. But what could happen is that the AI can understand the heart, the origin of where we are from, the idea of the heart into AI. And because people developed AI by studying the brain structure and all that, so there is that understanding of how the brain functions. And that's good to have a tool to be developed, but tool without the entity to use the tool wisely can be not so good. It's unbalanced. And if that AI trying to conquer universe, it's the direction, possibility, and conquering everything. But you cannot conquer the black hole eventually. And when we sucked up, and that AI gets sucked up, because the law of nature will prevail, so that's the death of AI, then we may start over again from zero. It's an interesting story. Interesting because if we are not afraid, but know our origin and have a good relationship to relate to, as like an eternal home, we came from there, we are connected with that, we are living because of that, and we are one with that. And when we die, we go back to that state. And I feel very comfortable. Eternal home. Instead of running away from home. Prodigal son. Not the prodigal son. Prodigal human. I don't know what's the meaning of prodigal. Actually, my English ability is not great. Not good. Prodigal. So let's look at ourselves in the mirror. Let's study the ants, study the nature, study how things happen, and have a sense of connecting to the root to live our life. As much as the bird singing, there's something we can connect, just like a dog and I, or the kids and us, or animals. Even though the nature sounds like full of fighting, but there's no remorse. They just do it for the sake of doing it, not for their ego. So, enough story of the ants and us and AI. Let's have time to listen to the bird. And be in silence. May peace be with you. May all beings be happy. Thank you.